Hey gang, Matt from Easy Breakouts, about to start another current market trend review, but before I do, just wanted to mention that if you find this video helpful, be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. Also, you can view additional videos by visiting our YouTube channel. Alright, let's hop into our analysis. So folks, across the board, oh my gosh, another all-time new high for everything. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, all hitting new highs today. The Russell is really the standout star today. Crude oil settling in just about flat from yesterday. Gold settling in flat. Bond settling in flat. So really the action is in the equities here. And as we point to the S&P 500 dailies, we'll see all of this action on the charts. And in fact, let's switch over right now to the S&P 500. So there we've got the all-time highs here. The previous, I should say, all-time highs up at 2193.81. Here we are, folks. We crossed up and over the 2200s. We closed 2201. I'm sorry, 2202.94. Actually, across the board, what we are seeing today is that the indices kind of flirted with the round numbers and kind of backed off midday before catching a bid towards the afternoon and rallying up, closing right at them. You can see the same thing happening with the Dow. And actually, it's a little bit clearer if we zoom into like the 5-minute charts. You can see that initially we gapped up right through the 2200s here, and we immediately faded down below it. And we kind of spent the remainder of the day right below there. And at the end, you see that nice little bid coming in, pushing us right above it. Same thing happened with the Dow. The Dow crossing through the 19,000 whole number early in the morning before fading off midday, maybe a little bit of profit taking going on. But again, that midday, or I should say the late day bid coming in, pushing us higher, getting a nice little close here. So folks, across the board here, look at that. Dow Jones breaking out of its little high handle that it's been forming. We'll see on some charts here that that same sort of occurrence is happening with our stocks as well. As we look to the NASDAQ here, NASDAQ actually posted a new all-time high too, got up to the 5386, is almost up to the 5400 whole number. Again, we've been talking about a lot of these double bottoms are showing up in chart patterns on individual stocks as well. And then finally here, let's take a look at the Russell. Take no prisoners. That's just a straight shot up. There's no rest, no high handles, nothing. Just straight off the lows from that 200-day moving average, shooting up here past the 1300 whole number and closing in on new all-time highs. So folks, across the board, we're seeing this nice bid coming in. And one of the things we had mentioned is stocks like in the Dow Jones here. You see how you've got this little bit of a high handle forming? That started to break out. Well, if you remember from some of our previous market trend reviews, one of the things I had mentioned is, hey, folks, stocks have kind of run after the elections. They need to base out. Watch for these high handle breakouts. Well, that's what we started to see across the board here with a lot of the steel stocks, right? Look at this. High handle breaking out. Nice little run there. AK Steel. High handle here, breaking out. So this is why it's really important that everyone out there who's watching this video starts to understand how to look for chart patterns, how they set up, why it's important to see the different resistance points or support points in a chart pattern. They really help us to pinpoint how stocks are moving and where we can maybe potentially place a trade or get some trade location. As we move over to external markets here, let's take a look at the gold here. Gold just hanging out right at those 1200. So kind of looking a little ominous here. Like if we start to undercut there might be further selling to come into the gold. Taking a look at the 10 years. The 10 years have just been hanging out on lows. That means the 10-year yields have been hanging out on highs. Look at that, folks, 2.32%. And then finally taking a look back at the crude rallying all the way up to these prior highs, forming a little bit of a balance. So folks, we'll see if we can form maybe a little bit of a handle here and a breakout back above 49s. Might push us to these highs up at the 5220s. But across the board, folks, one of the things you probably should start expecting is trade to maybe start slowing down again. We've got Thanksgiving. Markets are closed. Friday's going to be a half day as well. So really the trading will probably start to pick up Monday in earnest. As we've been pointing out over these past market trend review videos, watch for relative strength, stocks trading up near new highs. Here's one thing that I kind of thought that was interesting is as we see the NASDAQ pointing up north towards new all-time highs, the 5400s, here's one of the things I saw was interesting, and this is just something I picked up. Look at Facebook. down on lows. Notice what the chart pattern looks like, right? It looks like there's some relative weakness going on in Facebook. Same thing with Amazon. This was one of the big leaders up until about 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. That is trading underneath the 50-day average as well. Alphabet, another big leader here, right? Trading underneath the 50-day average. Apple hasn't looked good in a long time, right? Apple has been hanging out down below the 50 and 200 days for quite some time. And then all of a sudden I say, well, who's left of the big cap tech? And really it's Microsoft. Now, all of a sudden, this chart should jump out at you. And I'm going through these again, not as a buy, sell, hold recommendation, but as you go through chart patterns, what you should be looking for all the time are charts that jump out to you that don't look like the rest of the charts you might be seeing. So, for example, if you're going through a bunch of big cap tech stocks and they all look weak, and then all of a sudden you come through another one and oh, it's trading up near all-time highs, that should automatically pique your interest, and you should look into that and say, is there potentially a buy point in here? Is there trade location? Is there a place that I can situate myself such that I can apply my trading rules, my risk management, and then take a trade? And that's really what the essence of chart reading is. So, folks, again, as we've been mentioning, markets at all-time highs. I know it's scary to get involved with markets at all-time highs. Everybody's kind of looking for that boogeyman around the corner, the next shoe to drop. But here's the thing, okay? The stocks will tell you if they're ready to go or not. If the market is not healthy and you see a chart pattern, you're going to maybe have a failed breakout. So to break out, immediately fail, you stop out. Or the stock will never break out at all. But if you see chart patterns and they break out and they continue to work, that's telling you that the market is trying to go higher. The one place that I would try and watch for on these indices here, on the S&Ps, I've noticed like a little bit of a ascending trend line. If we ever kind of stalled out near these 2200 whole numbers, got down below it, you might see a little bit of a pullback, maybe back to these 2180s. Those are that prior breakout point that we were looking at. But as of right now, folks, stocks are breaking out. Things are working. They're continuing to move higher. A lot of our swing trades are doing excellent. And you have to just respect a market that's hitting new all-time highs. Something that was taught to me early on is called the great stock market paradox. And it's basically this: that which seems too high generally tends to go higher. That which seems too low generally tends to go lower. And folks, it's just because people hate buying at all-time highs. People want the discounts. And sometimes when there's a bull market or prices are moving higher, if you wait for the pullback, it will never come back and you'll get left behind. And to put it a different way, everybody loves to be in a stock that goes from $50 to $100. But the thing you got to remember is the entire time a stock is going from 50 to 100, it's hitting new all-time highs. It's going from 50 to 51, 52, 53, all the way up to 100. The only way that you can double, triple your money in a stock move like that, the stock has to continue hitting all-time highs. So, folks, don't be afraid of stocks that hit all-time highs. Don't be afraid of markets that hit all-time highs. Just be aware of the support levels below. And if you start to see some breaches of support levels, that's where you'll know to start backing off. So always watch the charts. Game plan always has been, always will be. Look at the best relative strength names that are breaking out with volume from recognizable chart patterns. Other than that, folks, have a great trading day ahead. And please join us for our next market trend review. Hey, by the way, if you haven't done so already and you're liking the analysis, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And as a reminder, you can also view additional videos by visiting our YouTube channel. Or if you'd like to find out more about Easy Breakouts, go ahead and click that Show More right above the comments section to find out more about Easy Breakouts. But other than that, have a great trading day ahead, and may the trend be with you. Take care, everyone.